Starlink, Elon Musk's high-speed satellite internet, is coming up and it seems to have a price. The cost of the service that SpaceX, the businessman's space agency, would be around $99 per month and would be operating by the end of the year in the United States and Canada. According to SpaceX, the constellation will consist of thousands of mass-produced small satellites in low Earth orbit, LEO, working in combination with ground transceivers. SpaceX also plans to sell some of the satellites for military, scientific, or exploratory purposes. Yesterday, SpaceX said that it is expanding the beta test of its Starlink satellite internet service, according to a report from CNBC, citing an email first obtained from SpaceX signed by Starlink team. Per the report, SpaceX reached out on Monday to people who had expressed interest in signing up for the service. Known as the Better Than Nothing beta test, the initial Starlink service is priced at $99 a month, plus a $499 upfront cost to order the Starlink kit. That kit includes a user terminal to connect to the satellites, a mounting tripod, and a Wi-Fi router. As you can tell from the title, we are trying to lower your initial expectations, the emails said, signed Starlink team. Expect to see data speeds vary from 50 megabits per second to 150 megabits per second and latency from 20 milliseconds to 40 milliseconds over the next several months as we enhance the Starlink system. There will also be brief periods of no connectivity at all. SpaceX said it has plans to deploy nearly 12,000 satellites in 3 orbital shells by the mid-2020s, with each satellite weighing about 500 pounds, 227 kilograms, making this the heaviest payload flew on a Falcon 9. The emails, sent to an unspecified number of users, marks the launch of SpaceX's public beta test of the emerging internet service. For the last few months SpaceX has conducted a limited private beta test with employees, which the company has said showed strong results in both latency and download speeds, key measures for an internet service provider. Those who received the emails would have filled out a form on the Starlink website, which asked for potential subscribers' contact information and location. Elon Musk's company posted that form in June and, less than 2 months later, SpaceX said that nearly 700,000 individuals across the United States had indicated interest in the service. Starlink is SpaceX's plan to build an interconnected internet network with thousands of satellites, designed to deliver high-speed internet to anywhere on the planet. The network is an ambitious endeavor, which SpaceX has said will cost about $10 billion or more to build. But the company's leadership estimates that Starlink could bring in as much as $30 billion a year, or more than 10 times the annual revenue of its rocket business. To date, SpaceX has launched nearly 900 Starlink satellites, a fraction of the total needed for global coverage but enough to begin providing service in some areas, including in the northwest United States. The company has begun to work with a handful of organizations in rural regions that Starlink satellites in orbit currently cover, such as Washington State. Under Starlink's Better Than Nothing beta program, initial service is targeted for the US and Canada in 2020, rapidly expanding to near global coverage of the populated world by 2021, SpaceX said in the description of its Starlink mobile app. SpaceX earlier this month announced a partnership with Microsoft to connect the tech giant's Azure cloud computing network to the Starlink network. SpaceX and Microsoft in recent months have been testing the software needed to connect Starlink and Azure. The partnership is especially key to Microsoft's new mobile data centers, which the company said are designed for customers who need cloud computing capabilities in hybrid or challenging environments, including remote areas. This is slightly higher than expected, but that doesn't mean it's a bad deal. In 2015 Musk suggested the connection kit could cost between $150 and $300. SpaceX President Gwynne Shotwell asked CNN in an October 2019 interview, is anybody paying less than $80 a month for crappy service? Nope. That's why we're gonna be successful. From that perspective it's a bit disappointing, but it's still a strong competitor to current offerings. Satellite Internet found in December 2019 that the average cable or fiber plan costs $50 per month, while the average satellite plan is around $100. The average speed of satellite internet is around 31 megabits per second. For rural Americans, the reality can be much more frustrating. Debbie Dawson, a 62-year-old cemetery maintainer from southeastern Ohio, told Inverse in March that she pays $155 per month for an advertised speed of 25 megabits per second and download limit of 50 gigabytes per month. Sean Savage, a 32-year-old Wisconsin pilot, told Inverse that he was paying $178.27 per month to Viasat. Savage's speed test showed a download rate of just 4.45 megabits, despite an advertised rate of 30 megabits, and latency of 618 milliseconds. He has a cap of 150 gigabytes per month. Starlink might not sound cheap, but for frustrated rural Americans, it could be exactly what they've been waiting for.